Looks to come inside and fire one a goal and find the back of the net for Perth.
And the Azzurri have come back from 2 goals down to tie it up.
Cue the celebrations for the Azzurri.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of 2026. This is the Perth Azzurri Podcast, all brought to you by Stamford Capital Australia and the Thai Orchid Restaurant in South Perth. Blayne Treadgold is my name. A little bit of a different look to the podcast this season than previous seasons, but we're still rolling out plenty of content and certainly looking to get you the inside word on what's happening around the mighty Perth Azzurri Football Club. Some big guests to come. Jordan DeLeo is going to join us as we look ahead to Friday night. We will be going a little bit down memory lane and reminiscing as we celebrate that brilliant side that was the 2016 NPL men's side. It was the first title under the new moniker of the NPL competition, and the boys just didn't win the league title. They backed it up with a brilliant Top 4 Cup. So I'm very much looking forward to having a chat with Jordan DeLeo a little bit later on. But before we get there, I thought it was only right that we talk to the big man on camp. Club President Jason Marocchi is with us. Jason, welcome to, I guess, back to the podcast and to 2026.
Yeah, thanks, Blayne. Good to be back.
Plenty going on. We'll go through, I guess, individual kind of things that have been happening, mate. But as we got a little bit deeper into the season, mate, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to, and what are some of the things that the club's concentrating on currently?
Well, firstly, Blayne, I think it's great to have Perth Azzurri back.
Yep.
Fantastic to see the team run out last Friday night. With the Perth Azzurri logo on the sky blue shirts, and it looked fantastic. The girls have also been wearing them in the night series. I think the kit looks great. I've ordered my 2 kits with the merch that we're selling at the moment. I hope our members get on board and get behind that. But fantastic to have Perth Azzurri back. The feedback that we've got from everybody. Our long-term members, new members, rival clubs, all that sort of thing has been overwhelmingly positive. And, I think it's fantastic to have that Azzurri name back involved with the club and there, in lights.
Yep. I kind of mentioned to someone the other day, it feels like a little bit of a rebirth at the moment of the club, and that's not to disrespect any of the history or anything like that, but it feels like a little bit of I think as we put out on the socials, it's a bit of a nod to the past, but still a firm look to the future.
Yeah, no, certainly it is, I think, a rebirth, Blayne. Just even looking at our sponsorship, we've picked up several significant new sponsors and a couple, or certainly one that is sponsoring this show now.
Yep.
In Stamford Capital. Thai Orchid's been a great supporter for a number of years, but we've got Liberty's Insurance that have come on. They're on the back of the shirt for the men's. We've got Ideal Electrics that have come on as a junior sponsor. We've got many other new ones, many older ones even contributing more, which is fantastic. Yep. So there's a lot of buzz and excitement, and you were at the season launch. You did a great job as MC. That was a fantastic event, 120-odd people here, a lot of old faces that have come back and gone, wow, this is looking good, and a lot of new faces that are like, wow, this is a great place. This is a great club that we want to be involved in. So, I think there's almost like you say rebirth. There's a revitalisation,
Sure.
I think, of the club, and that's exciting.
You mentioned the corporate support. I mean, how's once again, not to use this in a disrespectful term, but the grassroots support, the people just getting out in the community that really want to come and support the Azzurri, be it parents for the juniors or be it the hardcores that really want to see this club get back to where it was.
Yeah, and I think the redevelopment is exciting, and people are having a look at that and want to be part of that, and they can see what the future looks like together with the Italian club. new facilities, piazza, all the things that come along with that. And, the Italian club as well. Sal Vallelonga, the president of the club, he was here last Friday night. He loved the game. He thought it was fantastic. And that's what the future is going to be, the soccer club and the Italian club together. Friday nights at this place are going to be unreal because not only are you going to be able to watch a good game of football, you're going to be able to hang around later in a world-class sort of sports bar and club facility and just enjoy the rest of the evening. And, there's no better way. You finish work, you come to the club, maybe an hour or two before kick-off, catch up with your mates or family, have a few drinks, go out, watch a game of football. And the game on Friday night against Olympic was a high-quality game. Yep. We performed well. We didn't get the result, but it was a quality game. And then you can hang around and with your mates and have another few drinks, have something to eat and enjoy the club facilities. So, it's a really, really exciting future, a real bright future. And there's a lot of work to do, but we're committed to do that because the reward is exciting.
Significant what's happening off the field. Let's just talk a little bit about what's happening on. You did mention the result against Olympic Kingsway. It was a brilliant way to start the season. The result, as you mentioned, didn't quite go our way. But how are you seeing the way the men's program's tracking at the moment?
Yeah, look, the boys played well, and that's great. But we've got to win. We're going to make we're going to be blunt, right? We got to win games of football, and we should have won that game last Friday night. We played well. Yeah, the football was good. We had our chances and the like. So there's a lot of positives there, and we need to be, upbeat and optimistic about that because, in the recent history, we've been touched up by Olympic pretty badly. But we got to win. We're not here to play good football and everyone applaud us and say, "Oh, you guys are a pretty team and you play good football and you look good." We're here to win.
Yeah.
And I think the dressing room knows that because of the history of our club. We're a winning club, and we got to win games of football. And Friday night or tomorrow night, we've got Perth Glory. That's not going to be an easy game. And the guys, we need 3 points.
Yep. No, very much looking forward to that. And, Friday night against Perth Glory. By the time people listen to this, it's probably tonight. So make sure you start making your plans. The women's program, of course, coming off that tremendous result last season, taking out the league title. Is it just about replicating that? Is it? I mean, what's the vibe like as we look towards the women's program?
I think so. We've been an emerging women's program. Now we're an elite one, and that's where we want to be. It'll be harder to go back to back, definitely, because with success comes players moving on, and players moving on to bigger and better things. Daisy McAllister picked up by Perth Glory. That's superb. It's brilliant. The story behind Daisy, junior here, sort of fell out of love with the game, came back here, fell back in love with it, and then is now playing in the A-League. I think that's superb. So look, it's going to be difficult, but we've got a great team. The good thing about our women's side is that they are an absolute rock solid team unit. Yeah. And champion teams beat a team of champions, and it's going to be difficult, and we're going to have to we're going to be challenged and we're going to be pushed, but we've got the playing group and the support staff, the coaching staff to make sure we give it a good tilt to go back to back.
The junior program, whether it's the JDL, which of course is the more elite, and for those players who really want to make a go of it, and then we've got the more the community style in the JCL as well. I mean, that JDL really is the pipeline for the future. How do you want to go about establishing that and establishing Perth Azzurri as the place for juniors to come if they want to reach the highest levels?
Yeah, look, we had a really good year in our juniors last year. The under 14s won the treble. The 16s won the title. A lot of that 16s team now is playing 18s. Depending on the sort of global situation at the moment, we've got two under 14s and an under 15 side travelling to Italy in April for the Gallini Cup. We've got our under 13s travelling to Dubai for the MENA Cup. We want to make this place a destination for players to come to this club, get really good coaching, get great opportunities on and off the field, and to be able to progress into our senior setup. And I think we are doing that. People want to come and play for us. Demand is always higher than supply. Look, we've got some fantastic coaches as well in the junior setup. And, I'm pretty confident we are going to have some very very successful sides at JDL level, at Mini Roos level, and in the girls program as well.
Last time we spoke, Jason, there was a lot of work being done to be able to acquire some green space, be able to perform some upgrades at the various green space that's needed for this club to keep thriving. Forest Park, Birdwood Park was mentioned, Beatty Park, as far as the senior women's program. How's all that coming along? Yeah,
it's coming along well. Those of our players and our parents that have been down to Forest Park would have noticed that the surface there has improved substantially over the off season, and that's a real positive. And thanks once again to the state government and also the member for Mount Lawley, Frank Paolino, for his advocacy there. $1.5 million to upgrade Forest Park. A lot of that has gone onto the turf. We're also looking at putting in a couple extra change rooms there, so that's sort of the next stage of the development. Beatty Park will finally have its change room, storage room, toilet by the end of April. That's what the City of Vincent tells us. So that's a positive. And Birdwood Square will get some lights probably by the middle of the year, and that will give us another training venue for whether it be our junior program, our amateur program, to give us another venue to train at. So look, green space is still a massive challenge, but we're taking some positive steps forward, which is great.
This Friday, Jace, it's going to be a really significant moment, not only because there's a big game coming up against Perth Glory, but of course to celebrate one of the great sides. And it probably was one of the premier sides across the competition of the 2010s, and that was the 2016 Perth SC, as it was at the time, side that took out the double, mate. How important is it for us to, I guess, get those ex-players involved and celebrate those wins?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fantastic evening. I think we got Francis Suale coming in from Melbourne. Yep. There's going to be a lot of guys here. They're going to have a fantastic time reminiscing about the past. That 2016 side probably, snuck in, I guess, to win that title. We're probably one of the lesser fancier sides at the time. I think there was a very good Inglewood United side there, and I think they slipped up on the last day, and we got a result at, I think we got a win at Percy Doyle Reserve. We've had a couple of good final season days at Percy Doyle in recent times. So a fantastic championship, that one. And then we backed it up. A couple of weeks later, we had, Inglewood in the top 4 cup final, and we beat them there. And what was particularly pleasing there, we had a very young side. So Jordan DeLeo, he might have still been in nappies, I reckon, during that season. I hope he doesn't.
He listens.
But what I really liked is a guy, a legend of the club, Clark Kelty, who had played for us for 3 or 4 seasons previous. We were okay. We pushed Bayswater a couple of times, but we always fell short. And Celts was a gold medalist, and I think it was a 3 or 4 times fairest and best.
Yep.
With the club. I think he missed the back end of 2016, or a lot of it, because he was injured. But mate, he was over the moon that we won that title, and I don't think there would be a happier guy in the club than Clark Kelty at the time, and it was just fantastic for him to sort of all the hard work that he'd put on the pitch for 3-4 years previous, or it paid off. Him with the young pups, they managed to win the title. So it was a fantastic team. It's going to be a great night, and I hope our team get a bit of inspiration out of the class of 2016, because they won that title through pure grit, or as we say in Italian, Grinta, and that's what we got to show. We got to show a bit of Grinta on Friday night throughout the season, and as a club, right. We got to, Grinta should be one of our key sort of
values.
Absolutely, right. We work hard. We're relentless. We're fearless. We push when the chips are down. We keep fighting. Whether that's at board level, that's at junior level, that's at senior level. Grinta. We should spray it on the grass. I reckon that should be our what we. That should be the centre of our universe. Yep. That's how we should roll. Yep. And, the class of 2016 definitely had some Grinta, and if a bit of that sort of rubs off on the boys on Friday night, I think, we'll have a good result.
Talking about, is it Grinta? There you go. Talking about that, Jason, would you like to, I guess, just from a supporter's perspective, would you like to see a little bit more of that from the supporters as well? Like that real kind of dyed-in-the-wool supporter, come week in, week out, home and away. You're really going to give it to the opposition on the sidelines in a respectful and safe manner. But would you like to see a bit more of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this club was renowned for that in the 60s. We probably... the passionate Italian migrant support probably put a few noses out of joint back in the day. I've read a few articles about some of the things that were written about our supporters, but I'd love to see a bit more passion and a bit more fight. And I don't mean that in terms of throwing fists. I mean that in terms of getting behind your team, getting into the opposition. And that sort of thing. We're a very genteel culture now. Certainly at NPL level, there's not really anyone that. Well,
if you look around, once upon a time, this area was very, very working class, and it was you had to have that bit of grit to get along. But these days, it's probably quite an affluent looking area.
No, absolutely. But we had a great crowd here Friday night.
Yep.
And our people showed up, and it was a good atmosphere, and hopefully we can replicate that, through the season. One thing that we are doing, and I think there'll be some communications out to everyone shortly, is the game against Balcatta Etna, which will be our Ferrari Cup day. I think it's the 21st of March, from memory, a Saturday.
Yep.
We will be doing our junior presentation day that day. And after the kids are presented, we're going to have the active zone like we did last year. And,
beautiful.
We'll have flags and smoke, and I don't know if we'll have flares, but we'll see what we
Leave
can.
the flares at home.
We'll see what we can do. We want to make it rowdy. We want to make it intimidating. We want to make noise. And, the kids really got into that last year, and I think it's going to be another beauty that weekend.
I just want to leave you with this one, Jace, before we let you go. What are some of the challenges that you feel ongoing in 2026, and what does success look like when we get to September and October?
Yeah, well, I think we're a football club, so success is trophies.
Sure.
That's what everyone will measure you on, and I think both senior programs we're certainly up there in terms of being able to challenge for some silverware. But every season there's a different challenge. There's a different You go through a rocky period, whether it be on the park or off the park, and you just got to pull through it. And the best sides, the best clubs, they pull together. They go, yep, this is hard, and we've got an issue here, or we've lost a couple of games on the trot or whatever. And you put your hand up and say, well, we're going to work a bit harder, we're going to row a bit stronger, and we make sure we're all rowing in the right direction. So we're going to be challenged, whether that be issues off the field, results on the field, and the like. But nothing that is worth any value comes from anything that's easy. Things that are hard, the success is always more sweeter.
Yep.
So we just got to work our butts off on and off the field to get ourselves in the best position for success. And challenges will come and go, issues will come and go. We just got to be united, work hard, and don't tap the mat.
Yep.
Show a bit of Grinta.
There you go. We'll leave it on that note, mate. Thanks for joining us.
No, thanks, Blayne. Ciao.
All right, welcome back to the Perth Azzurri Podcast. Big thanks to Jason Marocchi, Club President, for joining me before that brief break. This Friday night, not only do we have a home fixture for the NPL men's side against Perth Glory, but we also will be winding back the clock to maybe reminisce, go a little bit down memory lane, and celebrate a fantastic side that was the 2016 NPL men's side, taking out not only the league title but backing it up with the top 4 cup. And we only thought it was right to have a bit of a chat to this next man, former captain, highly decorated player here at the Azzurri. Jordan DeLeo is with us. Jordan, welcome back, mate, and welcome back to the podcast as well.
Thanks, Blayne. Good to be back.
Yeah, no worries at all. Mate, take us back. I mean, when you sit here right now, what are some of the memories that instantly come to mind when you think about that 2016 era?
That 2016 era was obviously the start of something quite special for a lot of us. It was, a lot of the young players within the club that had grown up as juniors playing together throughout the ranks, moving up to that senior side. And we have a lot of memories. Obviously, the first one for us all, there's, for some reason, I remember 2016 more clearly than, say, 2018 or 2021. It's just a very fun season with, still lifelong friends out of that team.
It was. You say that it was more memorable, but I guess it was 10 years ago. I mean, it's a long time, and you played here since you were a junior, basically. What was it about that just made it so memorable?
I think it was just there was a lot that happened in that season. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with how that whole season played out. I can lay it out for you.
Yeah, played out to us. Yeah.
So obviously we went into that season with Gareth Naven as our coach. Coming off, I think we had a decent finish the year before, but there was a lot of change within the playing group. And obviously a lot of optimism around Gareth being our coach. We started off the season quite well. And then I think it was around round 9, round 10 when Gareth got a job at Melbourne Victory. And then we had a change of coaching staff. So Ramon came in to support Mark. A few of our senior players at that time also left the club when that change happened. So I think a lot of optimism went away, and there was a lot of questions around whether this team could actually get it done given that we were so young. We can talk to what the format of that team was, but, we had maybe 3 or 4 senior players in that team, and the rest of the playing group was, 18, 19, 20, maybe 21. And back then, that was unusual for the league. The league was quite an experienced league back then. I'd say the average age of players in the playing group would be closer to the 30s, and nowadays it's not that anymore.
Yeah, it has changed, and I mean, we'll talk about that, and we'll have a bit of a look forward and some of the comparisons very, very shortly. But ultimately, the league was won on the final day against Sorrento away. Am I right in saying you would have had guys like the Harnwell brothers? You would have had, or was that a little bit no?
So at that time,
Jamie might have been coaching.
I think
was he?
At that time, Jamie was coaching.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So it was still a very experienced Sorrento team. As I said, the whole league was very experienced. So some of those players you're thinking of would have been in the team. But yeah, it was won on the final game of the season. Again, funny story around that. So leading into that final game, so that final game was round 22. In round 21, we had Inglewood head-to-head. So we were above them by 1 point. We win that game. We win the season. We win the league at Dorian. And I think we lost that game 2-0, which meant Inglewood went into the final game of the season 2 points up. We had them on goal difference. So they would have to go to, I think it was third place, I want to say Red Star, and get a win because a draw wouldn't do it if we had won. So there was a lot playing out on that. We can talk about that game if you'd like, but the funny thing about that story is the trophy and the check was already at Inglewood. So given the game was in Sorrento and how it all played out, that all had to come north to Sorrento.
I always feel sorry for that person from Football West that has to sit on the corner of the freeway, whether they go north, south, east or west to try and get that trophy out. It does make me kind of laugh when I just picture that poor person. Take us through some of the guys that were in this side. I mean, we put some out on social media and I think I did that and I said, Sabatini was in that side, and you said, no, he didn't come until a year later. So, I mean, the memory is a little bit blurry, but, who were some of the guys that you remember so fondly? Yeah,
so I mean, I mentioned it previously to you, maybe on an earlier podcast, but we had that spine. So we had Clark Kelty as our captain in the middle. We had Adrian Madashi as that senior player centre back, and then even though Franny was probably only 23, 24, Francis Swiley at the time had so much experience in the league, so he was the goalkeeper, and then obviously up front we had Gustavo Caraccione. So we had those 4 senior players surrounded by a bunch of really younger players that just already had that chemistry amongst themselves but didn't have that experience. So we had the experience through those 4 other players, and then we kind of brought the chemistry that I guess formed that the overall chemistry of that team and led to that success. So, those players are like Nick Ambrosio and Harley Orr and Rocco Pizzardo, Andreas, Theodosiadis, Alex Jovic, the likes. I can keep going, Matt Milinkovic, all players that had all played here from a junior and work their way up.
You mentioned that chemistry, but what was it about that chemistry? I mean, how did that come so quickly, do you feel?
I think it was being written off by a lot of people.
Sure.
Yeah, being that underdog, but knowing that, as juniors coming up in the ranks, we had won everything within our respective teams. So we knew that within our age group that we were successful and we could bring that. And we're all just mates, If you're going to training Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and you're enjoying being at training, and it's all it's fun. You work hard, and at the end of the day, you have a good laugh and you have dinner. You really look forward to it, and so enjoying playing with that playing group whilst also winning games started to build the culture that we wanted. We also had the right leaders. We had Ramon, we had Mark, Simon, the likes. I think it was just a team that was kind of put together last minute that ended up being that really solid foundation for something special.
Tell us a little bit about working under Ramon. You did it for a while.
Yeah, we did. It was great. Yeah, it was great. So credit to Gareth Naven, he and Mark Wingle, they got us really fit that pre-season.
Sure.
And as I alluded to, we were one of the younger teams. Being young and fit definitely made us different than the other sides. And so we had that sort of cardio, that aerobic capacity underneath us. And so when Ramon stepped in, it was a matter of just playing the way that he wanted to play. He already believed in the playing group. He already knew that we had the fitness to win games. It was now just, a lot of our game was sort of sitting back, winning the ball at the right time and then hitting them on the counter-attack, finding Gus up top and letting Gus go to work. I spoke to Gus actually before earlier today, and he said, just tell the boys thank you. If you're on the pod, tell them they're welcome. Everyone, you're welcome. So a lot of credit goes to him. He scored, I think, over 20 goals that year. But yeah, the senior boys were outstanding. Even Adrian Madashi in our group chat said his back still hurts from that season. So.
Well, I was going to ask you a little bit of a where are they now? So Gus is back in Brazil?
No, Gus is still here.
Oh, Gus is still here?
Yeah, so Gus was here he came over to play with us because he had played for Ramon at Balcatta.
Sure.
And so he came across, had a relationship with Ramon, and he stayed with us for a while. Then I think in the later years he played for Bayswater, went back to Bayswater. And then I think he's now given it up. His knees are pretty shot.
Sure. Clark Kelty was another one, mate. He obviously an English import.
Yep. fantastic. He was around for a few years prior to this season. Was a great captain for us. He played for maybe another 2-3 years for Perth after that, and then I think he gave it up, and then he tried to come back, and I think he's now retired as well.
And it's hard to believe we've still got guys getting around for. Obviously, we've still got Silla here.
Yep.
Ambrosio still getting around for Fremantle or at Olympic as well. So, I mean, that must make the older guys feel really old.
Yeah, it does. But again, like the exception is that we were young when we had won it in 2016. So, Silla was really young. Silla would have been about 17 maybe, and I think he was starting right back most games. He had a really good season. Obviously set him up for success for the career he's now had in the league.
How do we get his hair back? I was just mentioning it to you off air, and I was looking at some photos. That was outstanding, that hair.
Yeah, it was. It really was. He's got a girlfriend now, so might have to speak.
Is that what it is?
Might have to speak to the girlfriend about that one.
Okay, some intel. We've got some intel on the podcast. We're going to have to hit him up about that. Mate, when you look at the game, you've been out of the game for, 2 years now?
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
I think it's the third year now. I do, but I've got other priorities.
Yeah.
So, and I think the club's in a good position. I'm really excited for the season that they're going to be going through this season. But, I can maybe pick it up at not at a such serious level later on.
Yeah, well, I think the Sunday League team put I know you're not ready for Masters just yet, mate, but I think there's a Sunday League team that you could probably join.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe a few more years until that.
Do you notice any difference in, I guess, well, not even that 2016 and how the game was played then, but I guess the evolution of the club, the team, the competition? Because, of course, that was one of the first years of the NPL, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. The league's definitely become a lot fitter. Like, there's a lot, as I said, it's a lot younger, this league now. That's a big focus. In terms of the way that the playing style, I think that's still quite specific to each team. You see how we play here in Perth. It's really specific to how, we want to win. But you go to a different club and they play completely different. I think the game hasn't changed too much. I just think the personnel have, the experience and the age group has. But there's also, you look at some of the signings this off-season, there's some really, really talented names coming into the league, which is really exciting. Like those names, we wouldn't have got those names back in 2016. I don't know the reason behind that. Maybe the league's gotten better. Maybe there's more money for clubs to spend.
Yep.
But, I think overall it's similar, just different personnel.
Yeah, I mean, just reflecting on that, I mean, it's fantastic to have. I mean, these ex-pros kind of come back and almost give it a little bit back at that level. I mean, I think a primary example would be someone like Neil Kilkenny, who went and had a couple of seasons with Sorrento after he'd finished. Steve McGarry's another one. Now we see Danny De Silva, Daniel Steins. These are guys that have played at a really, really slick level. So, I mean, it can only enhance the competition. For
sure, yeah. I mean, playing against players of that stature and have that experience can only make you better. And it's obviously should, inspire the younger players that, they can play against these players and maybe get to where they've got someday. And if not, come back here and play in a good league. So,
the round one result against Olympic, mate, how did you see it?
Thought we played really well. I thought apart from that early goal, we had a lot of the control. We're pressing them hard for the first 70 or so minutes, and then after that I think we dropped off a little bit and obviously very unlucky to concede that late goal. Thought worthy of at least a point.
Yeah.
But early on in the season, hopefully those 3 points don't affect the club too much. But it's definitely exciting. There's some good players in that team, and I know that we weren't at full strength, so...
Would you rather, I mean, from someone who's played there, would you rather get someone like Olympic who's going to be really, really tough to beat? Would you rather get them first, or would you rather ease your way into a season and then get them maybe round 3, round 4, round 5?
Good question. It's really just around the mentality of the playing group,
sure.
And what the internal culture's like, because, you want to be tested early, and if you take the positives out of it, look, we were close, arguably could have got 3 points, and that's a positive spin on the whole thing. You take that into next week and hopefully you get the three points off the back of a good result and saying, all right, what we're doing at training has worked, so let's do that again. I'm obviously not within the four walls, don't really know the situation there, but me personally, I'd like to, you work hard in the off season, obviously had a pretty good night series. Just you got to play everyone anyway, so just bring them up straight, bring them early on in the season and then go from there.
Just a little bit back on your leadership, and I kind of think of the guys now who are in that position, in David Ninkovic and some of the other senior players. What were some of the biggest lessons that you learnt that maybe you don't even use in football, but obviously you've got a pretty fantastic career that you're pretty focused on now, and what were some of the big lessons that you found you learnt?
Around leadership or just in general?
Leadership and in general.
Tough question, Blayne. Very, very tough question.
Put you on the spot.
I think you just gotta be relatable as a leader. So you always gotta, you may have your opinion on something, but it's always worthwhile listening to others' opinions and taking in that information before sharing how you felt about a situation. Leadership just comes in from my experience. If you surround yourself with other good leaders and the more you practice what you preach and the experience you gain from that, that's how you shape yourself into a good leader. So, I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by a lot of good leaders at this club and in my life. So I sort of just took the traits that they take you under the wing, and you try your best to learn with not talking back too much and just listening.
That wouldn't be like you,
no, not at all. And when I was the captain here, I would like to have thought that there was a few young players that took something from how I went about it. You can only control what you can control. If you gave 100% of yourself to every single game, hopefully, that's seen by the other playing group and they understand what you're trying to do and they replicate that.
Obviously, we're looking forward to Friday night. A bit of a walk down memory lane. It'd be fantastic for the boys to get together. Do you guys catch up often?
Yeah, not often enough, but throughout those whatever it was when that core playing group was together. So let's say it's 5-6 years. Yeah, we were out every weekend. We were inseparable, and we still do have a group chat that we do talk to, say, 50 to 60% of those boys on a regular basis, which is great. There will be really nice to see a few faces I haven't seen in some time. Even Francis Suarez flying in for it, which would be good.
So where's he now?
He's based in Melbourne.
Okay.
Yep. Flying in for it. But yeah, it's everyone contributed in their own way that season, and so it'll be nice to just reminisce on a few of the funny moments and some of the goals and the games and whatnot, because as I said to you at the start, that season in particular is just very clear in my mind. And
do we need to let Marocchi know to put an extra keg of Peroni on?
Most definitely.
Who are we expecting a best on ground from? Can we put anyone in it already?
I'm going to say Franny. He's back in town. He'll be shaking hands. He'll be kissing babies. He'll be making sure everyone's happy. So
are we heading out afterwards? Are we expecting to be at the Paramount at 3 a.m. or?
We'll see how we go.
The good old days?
See how we go. We've actually teed up a golf tee time. The day
times
after.
have changed.
Yeah, so we'll see if we're able to back it up and go play some golf. But it'll be a really exciting time for the club. Don't want to take eyes off the game. It's going to be a big game for the boys. Try to get 3 points, but having us there, hopefully extra support. Maybe we can bring back the good times, the good spirits, and hopefully get them a win.
No, Rip, I'm very much looking forward to that. I guess by the time the listeners have a listen to this, it will be tonight. So if you do have some fond memories of that 2016 side, and come down and say g'day to Jordan and the guys. Mate, thanks very much for giving us a few moments.
No worries.
Right, we're just about set to wrap things up on the Perth Azzurri Podcast. Don't forget to tell everyone about the podcast. You can find it on Spotify, on Apple, and now on YouTube Music. So enjoy your football across the weekend, and come on the Azzurri.